Greetings, Reverend Tobias. Okay, yeah, just doing shifting the energies a little bit. So this is the Illuminati mindset, fifth dimensional shift. Let's see how this goes. As for the title of this, and Richard Branson, Secret Space. So I guess this weekend, I'm not sure. I imagine it's tomorrow. Of Richard Branson's going to space. So they're going to try and obviously monetize space, using it for public relations to get more attention, which is pretty obvious. So, with the Illuminati mindset, that's not what this is all about. But it kind of reaches into it a little bit of the puppet elite, you could say. The Illuminati, I spelled that right there, but anyway, stop. Now let me make sure I spelled that right for the title. I'll spell check on what I'm using here. This helps a little bit. I think a little bit helps. So the Illuminati mindset, we said it was a message I was getting on the way here. Of course, I talked about it a little bit yesterday. But we're warning through certain individuals that are controlling our reality, because we're allowing them to manipulate our realm. So it's like if some of them are just given certain power to do whatever they want here. Like life sort of comes easy. Depends on who it is. It's not for all the elites, but some elites it comes easy. They might come from nothing and they get wealth, and then they gather all so much wealth, they start affecting reality. And in the human consciousness allows more of that to happen. It's like, hey, we can learn from you. So it becomes a part where a person of great, I'm not promoting wealth. I'm just saying those that are at a high frequency of wealth, like their personalities, the things that they do, it's like it becomes an architecture of our reality. Well, that's pretty obvious when you look at it. Not many people are thinking about it very often, but it's like a certain personality, certain mindsets are allowed to make changes here. And you can say all of our politicians are propped up to, because they can control politicians. Obviously, I'm not going to say that publicly, but it's pretty obvious. At least I don't know how you want to look at it. Yeah, because even politicians, they're propped up to give power. It's like, someone's funding that. And there's different layers of, obviously they're not going to go into publicly. So enough about that. But yeah, it's like the mindset, the personality of someone that's in power. Let's see. Obviously, wealth doesn't matter anymore when you get to a certain level. This is nothing new. And you get to a level of power, and like now you have an architecture of your personality, your things that you like, and it affects society. And it's just that becomes, like they're like sculpting reality. And of course, not always human consciousness agrees to it. It agrees to it to a certain extent. Some people do this already, like when you have kids, your personality, your realm affects their reality. You're their world. But think about it when you are a world of billions of people. That's a different way of looking at things. It's just, yeah, it's like, why are these certain people allowed due to the human consciousness? And that's why you have certain peoples in power, all these different versions of people in power, to counter it, to shut it down, to get rid of it, to rebuild it. It's like a whole nother structure system that's not easily seen, tapped into. it's like a sculpture it's like how you sculpt reality. How do you build it? Um, there's like an art to it, but not. I don't think they teach that in universities. They might teach some of it, but it's just on a higher consciousness plane of how that works, and it's of course higher dimensional beings are involved and so forth. But it's what we need to talk about complicated when you think about it. I mean, it's just a lot of layers to it, and us from our perspective can only handle so much. But that's kind of the idea. So we don't see how all this is played out. Like we're in the theater of reality, but of course our higher consciousness, that's where the astral, what people are doing in astral, trying to change things, trying to move things around, trying to make a better reality, trying to do this and that. And so, it's a kind of like the back, the stage of real, you have theater, Earth, and then you have the backstage, which is the astral. And some people are wondering what they're doing, and your stage hands trying to move things around, trying to shift. It's complicated. But think about some people. The reason I don't know. This messages came through. I guess as you go into the 5D, doesn't this all start to make sense? If it doesn't make any sense right now, I imagine some people are understanding it, but I just put names out there just because for educational purposes, not for attacks or anything like that. Of course, I've done that in the past, but that's not what this is about. Well, somebody like a Bill Gates, for example, architecture, that type of person, that affected the computing world. But then you notice how all these guys are now doing space, and this guy's not doing any of that. Which that would, you think, be the first person that would do space because it's technology instead of doing more health. When technically health is really the technology. Technically, our DNA is technically technology and more valuable, obviously. So of course, people want to own it, manipulate it. They do that with our food system and so forth. Who runs our food system, and on and on. And of course, our medical field, I feel like our medical, like we have our aerospace, Lockheed Martins and stuff like that. It runs our reality, but of course, the medical, corporations run our reality also. Like an Archon, however you want to look at it, there's different prospects of it, but our perspectives. And when you're running, especially when you have children doing children's health and all this, like especially they're running it right now. We're going to go to more of a natural health eventually. We have to get more natural health, especially with newborns. We get more and more perfected. You still need regular. I would say the regular, the mainstream medical field will blend in to the alternative field, meaning that you take the good side of mainstream, because there is good to it. It's not all bad. You take the good parts and you put it with alternative, which is really, you mix the two where you have a more positive realm. And that's such a huge, especially I think when we're going all over the place with this, especially like when a child's born. I think the lighting needs to be dim, like kind of like this or dimmer. When they come into a bright light, it's like this, especially when it's dark I don't think there's a bright light when they're in the womb. I doubt it. Not like that. No, there's a light, but not light anyway. Yeah, it needs to be something where it's a comfortable environment. Yeah, especially babies are born in the water, which is, I think, fine, as far as I can tell. Just more, yeah, because that's going to change dramatically. Just basically natural childbirth, where you feel more welcomed here. But the idea is to feel welcomed for their whole life instead of just 5 minutes. It's like, but of course, not to be naive either. To be, to live a decent life, but also be smart about things, because I mean they get naive and the world gets more positive, but you're super naive, we end up back to where we are right now. The idea is to move forward and not triple back because you still can't go backwards. I believe our world, we do that a lot. We're going forward and we pull back, we go forward, we pull back. Maybe not I mean, some people, it's complicated with that, but there are some people that pull back quite a bit, actually. So, hopefully, some of that made some kind of sense. It made no sense. Completely understand. We're going to a quick update here if I can figure out how to do this again. Oh yeah, there's some things I wanted to show. Oh, I came unprepared. Well, I am prepared, but let me get this up first. We'll just do this one. Yeah, because I have something else I want to show here real quick. Oops. Slide delay. All right, Zombie.com. We have price sessions. Schedule here. You have shop here. I'm on the 29th. How exciting. I think I'm on the 30th, actually. On the 30th, going on to the 1st. Yeah, I'm going on the 30th for a while. But that's a busy spot. All right, we'll just leave it. We'll just keep that one short for today. Because I don't know what I'm doing here. It's March 2nd. To go back to the elites a little bit, that I've really left. So let's see, Eyes Wide Shut. Batman Begins, or I guess I said this is an. Anyway, this is a Rothschild Mentmore. It's in the UK. This was in the Batman Begins. Wayne Manor. It's Rothschild. So Mentmore. I didn't look out at the other Rothschild houses, but I don't want to go there. Jeez, look at that. This nice little banker castle you got there. And Eyes Wide Shut is I think this is a hotel, and this is in the UK also. Wooten, what kind of a name is that for a hotel? Wooten Who Hotel. Whatever. And this was that was in the Eyes Wide Shut. Eyes Wide Shut. Yeah, this is usually what's known for it. Back when they made movies that were edgy. Well, I figure I might as well tell the truth somewhere, right? Until you end up disappearing. Let's see. Yeah, Richard Branson. I mean, I feel like he is, elitist. Of course, they can always make you or break you, but he's basically some kind of Atlantean connections, you can say. Either way, he's like 7 years old, going to go into space. What else you have to do, right? Which is eventually going to, they're pushing the space age, but maybe not from what we think it's going to be. It feels like we're just going to put commerce in space. That's the vibe I'm getting right now. It's just used as promotion. You might see billboards in space. That would be interesting. Jeez. Yeah, sky watching is now gone. Hope they don't go to that direction, but I mean, they're not going to make it commerce anytime soon, but I don't know if they're allowed to do anything on the moon even now. It's kind of like the moon is kind of like it's like a sacred site. It's like Stonehenge. You just don't I mean, they might put something on there. If they do, they have to be pretty high up to do something like that. But I think most stuff's going to be flying in space for the most part, like a space station or something around those lines. Which that's the vibe I'm getting, but Martian thing. I mean, there will be Mars. Going to Mars will be very easy one day, obviously, but we have a long ways for that. And that's still, yeah, bizarre. Yeah, it's not that part, but yeah, it feels like they're using space as a way of promoting businesses, those that have a lot of money, and just to bring excitement, and also new technologies. Another way for us to kind of bring in, sneak in some technologies here for us to evolve in some form or another, some kind of controlled reality, because we're not going to be free anytime soon. Well, some of us can be free. Um, let's see, Branson. I mean, he's like a puppet billionaire. I mean, he's kind of brought up. I mean, even way his way to start was kind of strange. Like he came back from nothing, and all of a sudden he's anyway. I mean, he's at his ups and downs, but still, it's still very got a lot of luck. Let's put it that way. Gee, I wonder who helped with that. Just yeah, they call it luck, but it's more like divine intervention from the astral plane. Let's put it that way. Is this what's going to help humanity? And of course, I think the Virgin Airlines that he created actually did make airlines a lot nicer for a while. I don't think it's very nice right now. Um, but the elitist mindset that's here is basically, of course, yes, there's black magicians somewhere. There's always some kind of magic. There's always going to be magic here. It's not mentioned publicly for obvious reasons, but I mean, we're all magical beings in the long run, just tapping into it. And of course, we're being blocked because we have a certain, the Earth has to go through a certain type of timeline. That yeah, like pure magic. I mean, it'll always feel like it'll always be hidden. I mean, some areas might show up here and there, but for the most part, it's going to stay pretty quiet for the most part. It's not part of the agenda. I mean, there's always been sorcery throughout history, of course. Babylon, I feel like, was filled with sorcery, and that's why it does not exist anymore. I think it was too high vibration. It was too connected, just like Atlantis. It's just too much in the higher frequency of reality. Of course, with us, but that was the other thing is people wonder why we are the way we are, why things have been shut down. I mean, there's always going to be different perspectives um, of another thought came to mind, but of why we are here to begin with. Like, so look at it this way. Well, everyone has their own point of view. Nothing wrong with that. So you have like this Atlantean reality. It's perfect. Everybody's great. Everybody looks like supermodels, whatever. You have this human race that's been advanced a lot more, through DNA. It's been messed with and whatever. And then you have like these other alien races, like, well, hey, look, we can take over that planet anytime we want, right? It's like, so why do they do it? They just do it because they can. It's more to it than that, but a lot of it's like, why not? It has different reasons for it. Well, especially like with the human being, spliced and diced and transformed, advanced in different ways, it gets taken over. It's like, we should own this. It's kind of like yeah, it's like a robbery. I mean, you can look at it from all different perspectives. It's like, wow, you made something that looks very nice. We're going to take it over now. It's something like that. It's another way of looking at it. And one thing I heard, something caught online about the origins of human. I've always been blocked about before Atlantis. I've been blocked by a lot of stuff. It just does. It's just I can't tap into it. Not that it's not really that important, really. But one perspective, I mean, yes, the human's always been around in some form or another, but alien beings are add their little version of it. Like the felines add their version of it. The canines add their version, the pig people add their version. It goes on and on. But there are realities, I believe, where people are going to disagree, but really, we're all coming from different places. So some people come from where humans do come from apes, and some people come from where humans are just humans. It's like, yeah, this Earth might have a different history, but some souls that are incarnated here feel like they came from some other place, some other reality. Maybe where Martians created the humans, or splice and dice it, whatever you want to call it. There's just different ways that it gets confusing. I mean, some people might disagree with that, but when you have like what almost 8 billion people here, something like that, we all come from different places. The story here might not fit everybody. It's like, yeah, that might be your version of Earth, where humans are just walking around and get spliced and diced and turned to what we are today, enhanced, whatever, or dehanced, whatever, downgraded, upgraded, whatever you want to call this. But there's others that incarnated here either recently or been here for a while. They always feel like they're from somewhere else, and there's a different type of story. It gets complicated. Some people might call it trickster energies or whatever, and that because some beings want to take over this reality and all that, and that's true. Meaning, like, they want to say we come from apes and all that. But how many people are getting that much power? But I don't know. It's just different perspectives of what is your origin. Yeah, there's an origin for humans here, whatever that might be. Humans just showed up somewhere or grew out of a plant, whatever. Come from all these different elements. It's like this great holy thing. It's like, I guess it all depends on the perspective of that. And that's fine. But a lot of souls here come from different places, and they might just look at things, it's the reason I'm bringing it up because it's part of the healing of it. So if you come from a reality where humans did come from apes, or apes evolved from humans, that can help you with your own internal healing. It's not for everybody, but some people might feel like they just don't fit in this place. Nothing's making any sense. And I don't know, it just makes it more complicated. But yeah, it's just looking beyond, it's I don't know, it's like there's different multiple realities. I mean, it's so much that one person can't grasp. Or it's like, it's good to be open-minded, but like truly open-minded. I mean, open-minded times like a million, and that is even like I said, some people are that incarnate here that think they're Jesus, probably were Jesus in another reality somewhere, or another Earth, another world, or a prime creator. They walk around saying they're prime creator. They probably were prime creators somewhere, or still are, whatever. Yeah, you get these little. It's like you discount. It's like, if that's what they feel like they are internally, you feel like you're Jesus. You feel like you're a prime creator. It's like, let's hear your story. You know what I mean? So if you feel like humans came from apes from another reality, it's like, yeah, let's hear your story, and to just call you bad and you're wrong if you feel like that's somewhere you came from. Yeah, it just gets really convoluted, complicated, just like a freaking mess. It's like, just yeah, I mean, nothing here makes any sense, right? And spiritual growth doesn't always have to make sense. But what is this basically? What is the soul? What is your soul saying? What is your, I mean, even if you're going through trickster energy, it's still to explore that, to heal it, but that doesn't mean it's always trickster energy. Sometimes it's just where you are. It's like, what is your soul telling you? If it's not telling you anything, well, go in the club. Sometimes the truth hurts. I believe there are worlds where humans have grown out of trees and plants. Is that Vega? Isn't there a place like that where humans are actually grown? Jeez. It's better and better. At least that's the vision I'm getting right now. I wouldn't be all that surprised. It's just all these different perspectives, and it's not made public. It's well, some people might be talking about that stuff. I'm not sure, but it's just it's just good to have an open mind. And you sound like a crazy person, but it's like, what is your soul trying to say to you? Some people might call it a trickster connection, but that's not always correct. Um, I mean, yeah, there's some tricksters messing around, of course. That's always going to happen. Like humans coming from apes, whatever. It's like, I mean, some humans are born from politicians. Isn't that kind of like an ape type of being? Or that's kind of weird. That's scorpion or something like that. I mean, what is a politician on this planet anyway? It's like a whole nother old. It's like its own So isn't that kind of like its own species of? I'm gonna go into that, but kind of degenerate lower life form, at least on this planet. Yeah, I'm not gonna go there. That was the other thing that's connected to, like ancient Greece was, depending on your perspective. Once again, it's all about perspective. We all see things differently, which is complicated and a good thing. Like ancient Greece is very spiritual. It did become more. I mean, it had the as became more fourth dimensional or third dimension, whatever. It had the do physical things, of course. For ships and for fishing and everything. Um, of course, when Rome was developed, it took everything from Greece, added a lot of politics to it. I think art kind of went down the drain. They copied the Greek art, but I don't think the art was really. I could be wrong about this, but a lot of the art was not the same. Of course, a lot of Greece has been wiped out and forgotten. But I believe the art was a lot more. It feels like more vibrant. At least the vibe I get. And Rome is more like an archon, political, you know, yeah, what we are today, basically. So we've seen a downgrade of art in the past. Rome is a good example as the politics became more controlling of society. Of course, it disguised itself through religion to the Catholic Church. Of course, that's just another extension of Rome. Of course, Rome is another extension of the pharaohs, at least the manipulated pharaohs. The manipulation of what is it? Egypt goes into Rome, and of course they change it over to cathedral and Catholic and all that cat stuff. There's probably more to it than that. But yeah, because it went stealth. Politics went stealth. Of course, it went into kings and all that, but the politics went stealth until the modern era. I think probably before that, but during Napoleon times and whatever. But what I'm getting at is, yeah, we are going back into the spiritual realms. It's going to be complicated. It's not going to make a whole lot of sense. But basically, yeah, I wouldn't say the fall of the United States is going to happen anytime soon, but it is going to transform itself into a different kind of entity. It's not something that happens quickly, but we are slowly seeing things kind of calm down, where it's not so, trying to take over other countries. Of course, still doing it quietly, but yeah, I feel like, was it 3 to 5 years? The United States is just going to become more, I guess, more neutral is what I'm getting. That's another reason why it's connecting to Mexico, is to get that kind of energy from Mexico, that kind of culture, which we technically kind of need, of just more family connection. We have family connections here, but Mexicans are a little bit different. I mean, they actually are, from what I've gathered. If you remove the poverty, I think it's usually pretty decent overall. And here in America, we're Puritans. we got politics, and we're like weaponized families. And we're like here to zap each other because it all depends on the family. But we are bringing that Mexican culture in the United States, which technically we actually need to just calm down our war between ourselves. The Puritan War that's been going on for thousands of years, or say thousands of years. Maybe not here, but other places. So just bringing that Mexican vibration. This It's just things are going to get more separated. We're just here to, yeah, cities will eventually calm down. Yeah, they're not going to be. I mean, right now New York is kind of weaponized. Yeah, you get people to get out of there, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, maybe economy wise, but it is to, because it needs to rebirth itself. It needs to be reset. And so if New York City, because like New York City, like 9/11, everything changed. It was a world change because of that. Now New York City is going through a change now. So New York City is kind of like it's like a thermometer. Kind of gives you an idea where things are going. Let's put it that way. It might not make itself clear too much, but it's going through a reset. So that means we're going through a reset. It might be violent there, but it's getting also aggression out. You don't hear about it in the news very much. Not that you watch the news, but I believe it's still going on. Shootings, it's not pretty. But it's actually clearing out a lot of its darkness has been there for a long time. So it's just coming to the surface. Because all that just happened out of nowhere. It's like, no, these people got pushed. They got been pushed, and now they're changing things. So yeah, our New York City, our modern Babylon. Of course, there's Babylons all through the world, but the New York one's pretty heavy as it's. Yeah, I feel like they're going to find a new. Not that that's going to get cheaper there, but feels like renewable energies. They're just going to have an internal reset, make it more friendlier, wanting people to come back. Feels like they're just trying to make it more environmentally friendly, which is probably like, what are you talking about? It just feels like it's the vibe I get from it. Which is when it becomes more environmentally friendly, it also shows a more high frequency energy will finally find itself there. And it has a lot of work to do there. Yeah, it's very old. It has an old mindset, its own gang warfare there, whatever. But it just feels like internally it will find more of a balance. Maybe not yet. Yeah, it's not something that happens quite right away. It just feels like it's going to be more energy efficient, living space, and it is known to have creativity there for lifestyles. And so San Francisco kind of has this. It's like you're having like a lifestyle rebirth. People become more inventive how to live, even cheaper. Yeah, maybe I think they're doing that now, actually, just not getting a lot of press. But cleaner environment, cheaper environment, where things just make more sense. Because if New York goes through that, other places will follow eventually. It's just a vibration shift. Right now, it's very archon. It's not pleasant right now. But it has to be like this for a while, maybe in 5 years of just hell. I think they're having a new mayor thing going on there, for the new mayor. I'm not sure if that's been already done or going to be. I think it's November. Probably hasn't. I haven't watched the news that much, but I haven't heard much about it. But probably November, most likely. It doesn't. Yeah, it just so much freaking corruption. The whole state of New York needs to be fleshed out, but New York City in itself feels like it's a hybrid of what's to come. Always that's the vibe I get from it. And if that becomes more of a place that you would actually want to go, it also, basically more nature connected. It already has that now, sort of, but it's more so archon connected. It's not, this is not something that's going to happen instantly, but at least that feels like the agenda at hand. to get people. I mean, a lot of people are fleeing, so we want to bring people. Now, is it going to get cheaper there? It's hard to say. Probably not. Who knows? But either way, just the living conditions there will improve because a lot of old wiring there. It's all old. It's like hundreds of years old, something like that. Some of the places there, something like or 100 years. I don't know, whatever. I don't think the wiring is 100 years old, but maybe it is. But just more friendly environment. And the rest of the world will, at least the country, United States will pick up on it. New trends. We have not, once again, we have not reached that yet. But it feels like that's a vibration we're going. Yeah, because these big cities, of course, London's kind of at a tailspin. It doesn't want to change. People are trying to get it to change, but still kind of hold on to its old monarchy, which, I believe somewhere they're trying to get rid of the monarchy altogether. I'm not sure if they can do that. It's probably against the law just saying that. It's like, I feel like the British rule, some want to get rid of it. I mean, these are higher ups. We have a prime minister. What do you need the queen for? Exactly. Of course, even if you do get rid of the royal family dynamic, you can have the royal family there. Just put them somewhere. Just don't let them do anything anymore. They're doing some stuff here and there, but not that corruption is going to be completely cleared out of there. To clear out the UK, you need a prime minister that can go against the elites. Problem is, it won't be pretty though, without going into details. But you need a prime minister there that's going to really change things. And India, of course, has been designed for failure. Because there's just they need a place for, where corruption to show itself. There's some places where it hides it very well, and there's some places where it just shows it. Like Yemen shows it pretty well. Some places in the Middle East shows it. Iraq, kind of. I think Iraq's getting a lot better in some ways. Of course, the Taliban has been, in Afghanistan's, I believe, government created. At least that's the vibe I get from it. It might be some Taliban, but I don't know. It feels like Taliban's been a little bit engineered a little bit. There's going to be some Taliban, but this is like a little bit more organized than an average Taliban would be. So, I guess it gives the government something to do, or gives the military something to do for now. Yeah, I don't see that going to heal anytime soon. Yeah, to heal something like that, to heal like a Taliban, the world has to really start to evolve. Where the consciousness shifts, where we don't need that experience anymore. It's not quite there yet. There's still a lot of darkness in that part of the world. Once again, with India just bluntly shows you corruption. I think Thailand does that too. They just it's corrupt, and you just live with it. U.S. has a lot of that too, of course, but at least they try to hide it, sort of. Kind of. If you call yourself a politician, that pretty much tells you what you are, right? So, I guess it all depends on the politician. I don't remember that bad, but some are pretty. How can you be a politician anywhere legit when you just have to sell out some form? Choice. If you want to make it, I guess some are honest. Can't imagine many of them though. Of course, that's why Rand Paul. That's why he's been having problems. Yeah, I wonder why. But for India, it's like there's corruption right in your face, and people are living with it. We're not at the point yet to removing a lot of that. There's just a lot of growth. It's just as humans shift in we're going to shift in a frequency where we're not judging. It's just we're understanding where the darkness is coming from. It might go to alien origins. It might go to ancestry origins, which a lot of it will be. A lot of his ancestry connected. Like with India, for example, that's with everything. A lot of it's India connected, though. Of course, the United States. I mean, I believe a lot of elitists are involved in the United States being developed. I mean, there was positive, dark. I mean, I believe they knew the United States was here before it was so-called discovered, but it's like they probably already put a bank here already. Just conveniently, it just sounds like a nice story. It sounds like a nice. When they say the United States is disconnected from the British Crown, is it really? And they're not going into details of Israel. Anyway, there's a lot of influence coming from there. They're also pretty obvious. Yeah, I don't think the Crown ever really disconnected. Maybe on a publicly, it looked like it disconnected, but behind the scenes, a different story. It just, yeah, it's just. What's the next agenda? I mean, the world's trying to heal, and the United States is part of that healing. It's not perfect. It shows a lot of problems. That's why the United States is exactly the safest place, because it shows its problems. We have issues. We're trying to figure ourselves out. We're trying to love each other, supposedly, whatever version that is. And that's healthy, technically. Well, at least it's showing it. It's not hiding it. Of course, Canada doesn't have to deal with it. They have their issues too, with the crown, and it's, yeah, it doesn't want to make itself known. But at least in the United States, it's showing it has problems. Just like India, it does hide its corruption through the police and politicians, but the person is showing personal issues. That's why you have all these counseling and all, which is good. Because I don't know if you're in India, I imagine they do, but we're trying to get self-help in the United States and other countries, of course, too. But at least it shows we're trying to evolve. If it's something. So it's because think about like the UK. I mean, I know they had, yeah, they have. Oh, I can't think of his name. But it was in the UK where they always have like psychologists. Um, trying to figure anyway. It doesn't matter. I mean, imagine they've always had some kind of psychology to help heal people. Of course, probably for hundreds of years, most likely. But at least the United States is allowing itself to show its faults. You go on the radio and get help and all that, and that's healthy. It shows that we're trying to at least come out of this coma, even if because if they didn't have like self-help or anything like that, we'd just deal with it. Yeah, we wouldn't be going anywhere. So always we're trying to pull ourselves out of the mud. Even if it's not perfect, it's got issues. I mean, it shows that, I mean, in the United States and other countries, they're trying to go like in the Middle East. There's a lot of self-help there. Maybe some places. Probably not very popular. I mean, I didn't prepare for that kind of subject matter, but yeah, we're just I'm trying to think of the psychologist's name of his I can't think of his name. It doesn't matter. The dream doctor, just like what your dreams come from and all that, and it was part of that. It's part of I can't think. I don't know if I should bother getting into that right now. But either way, at least we're trying to we're trying to get well. Even if it's backwards, at least we're trying to find some function of at least we discover there's a problem to find some way to heal it, even if it takes 10 years, 20 years, at least we're trying to find that. And other countries, of course, are doing that too, of course. It just that's connects us more to our 5D reality of just when we have issues and trying to clear it out somehow. Hopefully, some of that was helpful. Kind of still can't think of who that was trying. I can see the image of who I'm trying to get to, but I can't. I'll bring it up tomorrow if I remember. So anyway, hopefully some of that was helpful. as we go into more of a fifth dimensional, sixth dimension, seventh dimension vibrational shift. So, all right, blessings. See you soon.